The divide is there. Let's not be vague about it. And we need to avoid it. We need to fight it. Mm-hmm. For example, if you look at it from the perspective of the global shocks that we talk about here and there, irrespective of where they have come from, all countries in the world are affected. Of course, some affected more than others. But that's fine. But that is a reminder that we need to, therefore, look at what has been talked about, the inclusiveness that we are talking about, and collaboration that brings different entities of the world together. So for that, we must be able to call out hypocrisy for whenever we see it. And it is there because we keep talking about North-South divide or other divides, but we don't find easily and quickly the solution to that. Yet we can. We know that we can do that. Therefore, and in this case, I'm going to argue for our continent, the continent of Africa, which, by the way, has the fastest growing middle class. And in fact, in not too distant future, it will be the only place that has a growing middle class. Mm-hmm. So how can you forget that this is a very important place in our world? Now, two things have to happen. The rest of the world have got to see that this is an important place to invest with and invest in. That's one. Second is for Africa itself to avoid any victim mentality and start raising ourselves to the level where we should be, in fact, where we are, that we are a very important geographical part of our world, and with a lot of resources. It's not just natural resources, it's the people at the same time. So I think being reasonable, seeing things for what they are, and then being upfront in fighting for the rights. Therefore, maybe we shall be able to narrow the divide, but Africa has a very important place to be, and important role to play.
Thank you. Yep.
We cannot understand where we have come from as Rwanda without looking at the history, the geography, everything is complicated that you have to deal with. And even in the development of our economy and our country generally, it's like you are always fighting for every step of the way forward. And that, therefore, means when we are talking about inclusivity, it's not just a word, a nice word, and with a nice meaning. It's a lot of work to do, even complex, like in our country, and that background I've just mentioned. At the same time, we don't look at ourselves just as Rwanda and with all those complications about history and geography and so on and so forth. We see ourselves in the setting of the continent of Africa that has a lot to share. So growth we have realized and continue to realize is driven by what we try to do within the country itself with those constraints, but also looking at what you can do with the sub-regions we find ourselves in or cooperating with. But everything adding to the optimism that was talked about, looking at where Rwanda has come from and where it is now, should actually add to the optimism that people should have, looking at even a much wider aspect of where the world is coming from and where it is going, and therefore also Africa and where it is going. In our case, I'd say a few things that tie all those together. One is putting the people at the center of everything we are doing. And therefore, that means investments in our human capital. How do we develop it, and how does it find that space to be able to contribute and to their own well-being and development? And in that, we have invested in education, in health, and above all, technology has been a focus for us, and integrating that in the education system or in the health services as we move forward. Like for health services, for example, we find we have made use of technology like drones, where you find drones are developing and are delivering health services to rural hospitals and so on and so forth. So I'm talking about investing in education, in education and technology and health, but being brought together by that technology that we also invest in. I think that was mentioned, and technology keeps changing, and it's evolving to new levels of complexity. That's why we're talking about artificial intelligence. Even in that area, Rwanda has not been left behind. We are investing in that, as well as we invest in agriculture. How does it move forward, and how do we have food self-sufficiency, and how do we also take that into the integrated continent we are talking about. In Africa, we have developed the African Continental Free Trade Area, the biggest, in fact, in the world. What we are trying to do now is to make sure that it becomes real. The obstacles that are there for the African continent to come together are removed, but it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, but that is happening. And I'm sure my brother here, President Tinubu of Nigeria, is involved in this as well because of the importance of his country. But we are seeing Africa, much as you may find problems here and there, Africa is coming together, Africa is moving forward. Different countries have decent or impressive growth of the economy. This can't be coming from nothing, but the good efforts that Africans are putting in place. And therefore, it is important that from this, the rest of the world really looks at Africa as an important entity in the global affairs, whether it is politics, economy, and so on and so forth. So, but Rwanda, we have come from the dead 30 years ago. We are now alive and thriving, and it's an investment in our people and accountability and governance that we bring into play and which we share with the rest of the continent.